Cowboys Nation, Cowboys Nation, Cowboys Nation. First of all, I want to apologize about some technical difficulties in one of my previous videos. We went over the defense. Apparently, the microphone was cutting out. I didn't realize the microphone was cutting out until some of you fine young ladies and gentlemen let me know. And so I do apologize about some of those things. I'm glad I was able to answer some of the questions of the things that got cut out. So again, if something like that happens, man, definitely let me know on our social media page, which is Defending the Boys on Instagram, Defending the Boys on TikTok, and Defending the Boys with a DA instead of a THE on X. Okay, so today we're going to talk a little bit about the offense because we talked about the defense the last time. But I guess I got a question for you because did our offense get better or worse after the 2026 NFL draft? We really didn't pick anybody that would really assist us. But I don't know.
They are an accident waiting to happen.
Even they hush your mouth talking all that noise. You can hate all you want, but we still them boys. Dirty, dirty D. Texas where we stay at. We decide in order till you know that's where we play at. Hey, this year, this the payback. Yeah, we them Cowboys, and now we don't play that. Work. This is Cowboy Nation. Work. Welcome to Cowboy Nation. Work. Y'all can keep on hate. Work.
That's right, Cowboys Nation. Did our offense get better or did it get worse in the 2026 NFL draft? And here's kind of the thought process that I'm going with. This is what I am under the impression prior to camp or anything miraculous happening, right? My expectation is that our offense will be identical to the offense of starters. I'm just talking about the starters, identical to the offensive starters that we had last year. Okay. So that offense is going to be identical. I'll put it on the screen for you here. Now, out of this, what we see, we have George Pickens as a wide receiver. We have CeeDee Lamb at the other wide receiver. We have Freaky Ferguson as a tight end. And then obviously Dak is our quarterback. I have Hunter Lipke as a starting fullback. Obviously, he is the number one fullback, the starting fullback, but whether we start in a true I formation is, questionable. I doubt that we actually would. So you could actually end up seeing another tight end or possibly another wide receiver, or now that we have someone like Michael Trigg, maybe the other tight end is technically a wide receiver. I don't know, but there's a lot of things that I guess we can do, and that's starting to kind of answer your question on whether we got better or worse. And I'm not saying, hey, the Cowboys are better because of an undrafted free agent, but I'm just saying there are different things that we can actually do. Our offensive line pretty much stays the same. Well, it's not pretty much about it. It absolutely stays the same. Tyler Guyton has not been able to be healthy in the few years that he's been here. So, we're hoping that Tyler Guyton can do something that he hasn't been able to do quite yet, which is play an entire season. Obviously, Tyler Smith is going to be set. Cooper Beebe should be doing fairly well. Tyler Booker, we expect for him to do even better than he did last year. And then our other question mark at offensive tackle is Terrence Steele. Terrence Steele is still a quality run blocking tackle last year, but there was definitely some issues in the past. And here is where we really start to question whether or not the offense is going to be any better. So here's where my questions are, right? The questions, if there are any questions about whether this offense is going to be better or is going to be worse. The two negatives that it really has against it is last year, nobody really knew what Brian Schottenheimer was going to do. True enough, he called some plays 2 years prior under Mike McCarthy, kind of showed what he wanted to do, but that was still Mike McCarthy's fingerprint. The pulse of the offense was still Mike McCarthy's. They just kind of let Schottenheimer call some plays. This year was his offense. So now defensive coordinators, who are pretty smart guys, unless their last name is Eberflus, these defensive coordinators are going to have the opportunity to have a full year of film on the offense. In my opinion, that automatically makes you take a step back unless you're able to make changes. So Schottenheimer now has a responsibility. His responsibility is don't do exactly what you did last year. Can you add enough wrinkles to keep the offense good? Because you're not a perfect offense. Okay, you're not one of those offenses where it doesn't matter if you know what's coming, we're going to be able to stop you anyway. No, you did a great job of scheming. You even schemed a pocket, right? You have two tackles, one because of injury and there been backups over there, and the other one because he just wasn't doing very good. He was getting pushed around the field. But your two offensive tackles were not playing very good football. Okay. And even though they weren't playing very good football, you were able to scheme Dak Prescott moving over, adjusting where the pocket was, and then you had good play from Dak Prescott. He's able to get the ball out. This year, everybody has seen that. Everybody's going to be able to look at it, and they're going to be able to say, hey, they're going to move the pocket. Now there's a guessing game. That's okay as long as you don't move the pocket to the same place every time, right? As long as you're still able to add in an extra blocker, whether that, the running back staying in and being able to chip and different things like that to give Dak Prescott time. Because what it's kind of unstoppable is Dak Prescott to either George Pickens or CeeDee Lamb. That's hard to stop. If you got to worry about a running back coming out of the backfield and you got to worry about, even Ferguson, who, at the end of the day, Freaky Fergie had a lot of touchdowns. He didn't really make a whole bunch of people miss. I felt like he had a worse year. His wiggle just wasn't there for some reason for me last year. And I'm curious to see if that goes up or if that goes down this year, right? But we do have the opportunity for weapons out on the field that Dak Prescott can throw to. And I don't think CeeDee Lamb got any worse. I don't think that George Pickens is going to get any worse. I would like to believe that, especially at the beginning of the year, that Javonte Williams is going to play pretty good football. I think at the end of the last year, he had some injuries that kind of slowed him down, and that's why we had a few extra things. So again, if you're looking at this offense, this is the same offense that you put out there last year. Now, if you think about it, some rookies, man, you ever seen a quarterback? And Washington has had this problem a number of times. RG3 was one of them. Rookie year, you didn't know exactly what was going to happen. Then you saw it and you were able to adjust to it. And then that sophomore year just wasn't the same and nobody was ever there. Their current quarterback really had the same thing. Not that he was bad. I'm not saying that he's a bad quarterback. I'm just simply saying he wasn't able to replicate what he did in that first year, taking them all the way to the NFC Championship, right? So again, sometimes when defenses have that 1 year to see the offenses, you actually get worse. So let's talk about why I don't believe that's going to happen for the Cowboys. That's what we're going to talk about. I don't believe that that's going to happen for the Cowboys for a couple of reasons. First of all, I am hopeful. This is some hope. This is the hope part of it. There has to be some hope. It's the beginning of the year. We haven't even started training camp. If you don't have hope for your team, I don't know what it is that you're doing. So you can call me a homer because I am. This is defending the boys. This is what I do. So, yes, I have hope that Tyler Guyton is going to play much better football. I have hope that Tyler Guyton, much like DeMarvion Overshown, is going to be able to stay healthy. I have hope that the Cowboys as a whole, who had a horrible 2-year span with injuries, will have one of the healthiest years. Do we need to pray for this? Dear Heavenly Father. Okay, no, we don't. Okay, we're not going to pray yet. We're going to pray that this is one of the healthiest years that the Dallas Cowboys have had, because we've had 2 horrible years when it's come to injuries. This has to be the year that something breaks for the Cowboys and Tyler Guyton is able to play. And then because he's healthy, he's able to play at a higher level than what he has been playing. He's able to play at a level that it was expected of him when he got drafted. Okay. If that's the case, then one of our two weak spots, the two tackles, has just gotten better. Okay. Excuse me. So that's the first thing that I feel like is going to happen. Yes, I am a firm believer that there is a undrafted free agent who's going to make a splash this year. If you watched my last video, I talked highly about Michael Trigg. Now, here's the thing. Last year, I talked highly about an undrafted free agent wide receiver, which was Trayshawn Holden. Trayshawn Holden is a talented wide receiver that just happens to be on a Dallas Cowboys team that is, quite frankly, unfair for him, right? It's unfair because there's a George Pickens, there's a CeeDee Lamb, and honestly, even a Ryan Flournoy. And then we had people who should not have been in front of him, shouldn't have even been on this team, who were in front of him because of politics, right? And we knew that going in. And if you go all the way back to those videos, I said it's going to be hard for him to actually make the team. And the reason it's going to be hard for him to actually make the team is because of all the people that's in front of him, the people who are more talented, all Pro Bowl wide receivers, and those who are on the team that didn't deserve to be there. All those people are in front of him, and it's going to be hard for him to leapfrog him. And he had all of his reps with a quarterback that couldn't throw the ball. Hey, you can say what you want to. He couldn't throw the ball. It's hard to make splash plays with a quarterback who cannot throw the ball. They just can't get the ball to you. You can't even get the reps in to show the coaches how good you could be, because the ball is always overthrown, thrown behind your back, thrown into the ground. It's impossible to grade a wide receiver with a bad quarterback. So Trayshawn Holden, I knew last year was going to have a problem making this team. I suggest that Michael Trigg will make the team over Luke Schoonmaker. I know you don't like it. I get it. I know y'all like Luke Schoonmaker. I did. I like Luke Schoonmaker. I played tight end in college. I played tight end at Texas Christian University. Tight end is a position that I am very familiar with. Luke Schoonmaker doesn't have the ability to do it, what he was supposed to be able to do. He doesn't have that ability to actually do, right? And that ability was to be the big tight end, because we have Freaky Fergie, who was our receiving tight end, right? And so what was going to end up happening is, obviously Freaky Fergie catches the passes. He'll block a little bit, but then when you really need goal line, you put your big boys in. That's where Luke Schoonmaker came in. He wasn't able to get it done the way Brevin Spanford was able to get it done. And so then Brevin Spanford was given the opportunities in training camp to kind of leapfrog him. And then there was a little bit of an injury, right? So this year, everybody's healthy. We're going to send those prayers up when we get through with this video, okay? A healthy Dallas Cowboys team, Brevin Spanford, is in front of Luke Schoonmaker. Luke Schoonmaker now has to out-receiver an undrafted free agent. He cannot do it. Michael Trigg is that good as a receiver. As a blocker, I don't know if you want him on goal line. It's going to look bad for Javonte Williams. You're going to have to run over somebody to get in the goal line if that man is your blocker. But from a reception standpoint, when you talk about that seam route right down the middle and being able to basically catch the ball no matter where Dak Prescott puts it, that's Michael Trigg. And you can't tell me that Schoonmaker is going to have that kind of talent. Dak is going to look up and know, man, I can throw that seam pretty much anywhere. And he's coming down with it, one-handed, two-handed, catch it on his head, catch it with his feet. I don't know. This man is a bad man. He can catch. He has a catching radius. Now, I did hear that he didn't have it all up there. I heard that. I don't know how true it is. And then I'm a horned frog, and we barely like Baylor Bears anyway. So it's easy for me to believe that he's crazy, like Bat crazy, like really crazy, that's easy for me to believe because I'm a horn frog and I kind of feel like all of them are crazy. Um, However, no knock on the car wreck attorneys at OAM Hit, where the head attorney, Glenn Tucker, graduated from Baylor, and we don't want to lose our sponsor. Um, yeah, no knock on them, right? But it's a Baylor Bear. I think they can be a little bit crazy. But anyway, we're going to go past that. I did hear that he had some things, and we're going to hope that leadership, good coaching, things of that nature can help bring him forward. And then the possibility of losing, hundreds of thousands of dollars also kind of makes you want to act right. And then the possibility of making millions of dollars makes you want to act right as well. So we're hoping to get some of those head case things worked out. But as a pure receiver, I don't think Luke Schoonmaker beats Brevin Spanford. Now, obviously, I understand that in the slot, you're also talking about space where Cavante Turpin plays. And so now you start to talk about, excuse me, now you start to talk about who you pull off the field. Are you pulling Cavante Turpin out to put Michael Trigg in? That's a possibility. Now, I mean, I love the play, and I think you have a set of plays for Cavante Turpin, and you have a set of plays for Michael Trigg. Now, this is still early. He's an undrafted free agent. I definitely understand all that. But when you start to talk about, does Dak Prescott have toys that he did not have last year? My answer is absolutely yes. Michael Trigg is the number one of those. That is a toy that you didn't have. That is a really good toy. I'm talking about like just under George Pickens' really good toy. Like go look at the highlights so that you'll know I'm not making this up, because I know what you're thinking. You're thinking undrafted free agent. I thought the dude was going to get drafted by somebody way before the Cowboys was going to be able to get to him. I think the only reason he didn't is because he's a head case. There's a lot of people who thought he was one of the top 100 players in the country. The boy is bad, and we're going to have an opportunity, if he can stay sane, to use him pretty effectively. And Dak Prescott is pretty good with tight end routes, them seam routes, the out routes, the middle of the field type. Like Dak is good at that. Like that could make him really good, because the quarterback that he had at Baylor, yeah, he sucked. He wasn't any good. You can look at ball placement. He wasn't good. If he was good, I think they'd have beat TCU last year. Their quarterback was horrible. And Trigg still made plays. I was at the game. I went with the lead attorney over at the Tucker Law Center with I'm Hit, Mr. Glenn Tucker. I actually went to the game with him because he went to Baylor. Trigg is a bad boy, I'm telling you. So when you start to look at different things, look like we're running out of time, so I'm going to have to wrap this up. But what I'm saying is there is an opportunity for our 2 weak spots last year to actually get better, at least one of them. Now, I don't think that the new tackle is going to take any of the starting tackle roles. I didn't watch a lot of them, and I don't know. I trust what Vach says, because Vach is one of the guys that got me into podcasting. And Vach isn't a big fan of him. I watched some highlights, only highlights, not the actual games. And he was solid. I mean, I'm not saying that they were blowing by him and different things like that. I mean, it was highlights. So obviously everything that I saw was good stuff. But I even didn't see, even in highlights, something that says take Tyler Guyton off the field. And I'm just not a Terrence Steele fan. So maybe you could take Terrence Steele off the field. But what I think ends up happening is between Nate Johnson and your backup, in your new draft pick, you actually have backups that can play a little bit. There's inevitably some injuries. I mean, we're praying for a healthy season, but there's inevitably some injuries, and you have players that you can kind of piecemeal in and still be able to move forward. You did that this year pretty effectively on the offensive side of the board, or on offensive side of the ball. You did that pretty effectively. But as far as toys, I think the toys that you already had, George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, Freaky Fergie being able, especially in the goal line, to be able to do things. I think the new addition of Trig just adds a, oh my goodness. And then now you really have to pay attention to, is it Trig and Cavante? Is it Trig and Freaky Fergie? Is it, like there now there's packages that you can put in that you weren't able to do last year, even though you have a majority of the same players that will give you more splash plays. More splash plays for a team that already has splash plays is going to be amazing. And if this defense can be top 16, top 10, top 5, which every day it's starting to kind of look like, ooh, I can't wait to see what happens in training camp to see if we think we can actually get there. This can be a very scary team. Hey, that's all I got for you today. This has been Defending the Boys. I am your boy, ihearddwill. And again, check us out on social media, Defending the Boys on Instagram, Defending the Boys on TikTok, Defending the Boys with a DA on Instagram, on X, formerly Twitter. Also, definitely check out our description. We have some sponsors. We want you to check them out. Bounty is still on Tubi. That is still one of our major sponsors, the car wreck attorney at Oh I'm Hit. If you're ever in a car accident, feel free to give them a phone call. And we got some new guys coming. We do have Car Connect coming for the 2026 season, and we're talking to a couple of restaurants who are going to be coming in as well. So until next time, man, tomorrow night, I'm going to holler at you guys. Defending the Boys. I'm out. Yeah.